If you've been to Dearborn, you know what it is. Majority Arab, majority Muslim, Arabic on every storefront, called to prayer 5 times a day on loudspeakers, an Arab-American mayor. With over 54% of the city claiming Middle Eastern roots, Dearborn has officially become the first Arab-majority city in the US, and the undisputed capital of Muslim America, as experts estimate nearly 1 out of every 2 people in Dearborn is Muslim. But it wasn't always like that, as in 1940, Dearborn was 99% white, German, Polish, Irish, Italian, working-class Catholic neighborhoods. So how does one of the most aggressively white cities in America become the Arab capital? We'll look at 3 things: how Dearborn stayed white for decades, how the first Lebanese built a foothold before Ford's factories bought thousands more, and how 5 wars in the Middle East turned a small community into a majority. The city that wanted to stay white. In 1940, Dearborn was 99% white. Working-class European immigrants who'd come for Ford factory jobs, Catholic churches on every block, tight-knit ethnic neighborhoods. From 1942 to 1978, one man kept it that way: Orville Hubbard, mayor for 36 years. His campaign slogan? Keep Dearborn clean. Everyone knew what that meant. Hubbard kept black Americans out of Dearborn while Detroit right next door was going through massive racial change. In 1948, his campaign handed out cards that read, "Keep the Negroes out of Dearborn." In 1957, when a black family tried to move in, Hubbard had their gas line cut off and stopped trash collection at their house. They left. When he finally left office in 1978, the official census showed Dearborn had only 83 black residents in a city of 90,000 people. But here's the thing, Hubbard never stopped Arabs working in Ford's factories. Why? Arabs weren't trying to move into white neighborhoods. They lived in the South End, right downwind of the River Rogue plant, where the air smelled like chemicals and the noise never stopped. The part of Dearborn no one else wanted. They worked dangerous jobs on Ford's factory floor, jobs that could take a hand or burn you. As long as Arabs stayed in their corner of Dearborn and worked those jobs, Hubbard didn't care. That small, tolerated community, that's what became the majority. How it started before Ford. The first Lebanese Arabs didn't come for Ford's factories. They came decades earlier. In the 1880s and 1890s, Lebanese Christians arrived in Detroit, not as factory workers, as peddlers. They carried backpacks full of goods, fabric, needles, household items, and traveled across the Midwest selling door to door. Grueling work, but it was work. By the early 1900s, these Christian Lebanese had built something. They owned grocery stores, boarding houses, small businesses. They spoke English. They understood America. They had roots. Then in 1914, Henry Ford announced a $5 workday. Most factory workers were making $2 a day. Word spread across the world, especially to Lebanon. The Ottoman Empire was collapsing. Lebanon's economy had fallen apart. Men in rural southern Lebanese villages, mostly Muslim, had no work, no future, no options. Detroit had both. When these Muslim Lebanese arrived in 1920s, they didn't come to strangers. They came to a place where other Lebanese already lived. The Christian Lebanese shopkeepers gave the Muslim newcomers credit for food, a place to sleep, work connections. Village ties were stronger than religious lines. The new arrivals didn't want to peddle, they wanted the $5 a day. They headed straight for Highland Park to build a Model T. In 1921, right across from the street from Ford's factory, they built the first mosque in America. Not in New York, not in Chicago, across from a Ford factory in Michigan. When Ford moved operation to his massive River Rogue plant in Dearborn in the 1920s, the Muslim community followed. They settled in the South End, right in the shadow of the factory. Ford hired them for some of the hardest, most dangerous work. They worked, and they stayed. By the 1940s, the community was at a crossroads. Many of the early Christian Lebanese families began to move away, blending into other suburbs as they found success. But the Muslim community stayed. They rooted themselves in the shadow of the factory. They had their mosques, their grocery stores, and their family networks. And soon, that small community would explode. 5 wars turned into a majority. Every war in the Middle East sent a new wave to Dearborn, and a majority of them were Muslims. 1967. 6-Day War. Israel occupied Palestinian territories. Refugees scattered across the region. Many a distant family in Dearborn. They came. 1975 to 1990. The Lebanese Civil War. 15 years of fighting. Over 150,000 dead. Hundreds of thousands of Lebanese fled. A huge portion knew someone in Dearborn. By the 1980s, Arab businesses spread beyond the South End. New mosques opened, entire commercial corridors transformed. 1991, Gulf War. Iraq invaded Kuwait. Regional chaos, more displacement. Dearborn'S network pulled them in. 2003, Iraq War. America's invasion created millions of Iraqi refugees. Dearborn became one of the primary destinations for Iraqis given asylum in the U.S. 2015 to present, the Yemen Civil War. One of the worst humanitarian crises on Earth. Yemenis have been trickling to Dearborn since 1960s, many starting as sailors on Great Lakes ships. They were the quiet foundation. But when the war broke out, the trickle turned into a flood. By 2000, Dearborn was 29% Arab. By 2010, 41% Arab. By 2025, over half, the first large Arab major city in American history. The Arab American community in the southeast Michigan is now roughly 350,000 people. They own roughly 11,000 small businesses employing 170,000 workers. In 1985, a Dearborn mayoral candidate, Michael Guido, ran on stopping the Arab problem. In 2021, Dearborn elected Abdullah Hammoud, an Arab American. Today, Dearborn is home to over 15 mosques, including the Islamic Center of America, the largest mosque in North America, with minarets reaching 110 feet into the Michigan sky, and out of roughly 110,000 people living in Dearborn, it's estimated that over 55,000 are Arab Muslims. Arabic is now the most common language spoken at home after English. The city Orville Hubbard spent 36 years keeping white is now the Arab capital of America. A $5 workday in 1914, 5 wars over 60 years, chain migration nobody planned and nobody stopped. That's how it happened.